So, as many of you guys know, yesterday, Friday, the NASDAQ market had its largest point decline in history. With that being said, markets did pull back. It doesn't mean that the market sell off is over. I just know that although I plan to short the market with my LPP team, I know shorting is not for complete beginners. And I'm here to remind you that shorting does come at a greater form of risk. With that being said, I thought it would be useful to simply start creating a list for yourself of some strong performing stocks that are currently selling off and that still can. So once and if markets find a support, as markets are more bullish than bearish, once they begin to recover, you know exactly what you plan to buy and exactly how much you plan to buy of it and your why. It's not going to be impulsive or just because you're copying someone that you choose to initiate either that trade or investment. And that's exactly what I want this video to be. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. We will be using the Investing Pro platform, and this is just to be able to do a deeper fundamental analysis on the companies that we're analyzing. We also will be analyzing these companies technically. And with that being said, again, if you ever want to download Investing Pro, it's going to be the first link in the description down below. I want to be open with you. It is an affiliate link, but you do get a discount. It's like 50% off. It breaks down to less than $10 a month if you want to use this software. Without further ado, I have a list of companies that I wanted to cover based off of what has been some of the top performing stocks for 2026. But that doesn't mean that you have to stop there or only focus in this niche. This niche is going to really be either in the semiconductor space or something along with that kind of like AI space. Now, I get it. A lot of stocks are selling off, so your focus might be a little bit different. I love that for you. I just wanted to cover some of the top performing stocks and look at them fundamentally and see which ones are actually fair deals, if any, right? So let me list the stocks first so then you can cherry pick and add them to your watch list if they actually meet your criteria. The ones that I wanted to cover are Intel, very popular stock, probably my least favorite, and I'll explain why in just a little bit. Rocket Lab, I'm not going to talk about it because it doesn't have to do with the semiconductor space. It's more of a space company trying to compete with the hype of SpaceX. But again, that is a top performing stock, so if it's something that you want to pay attention to, all power to you. Dell, one of the top performing assets for 2026. SanDisk, we can't talk about the semiconductor stocks and not talk about SanDisk, right? Micron Technologies, ticker symbol MU, also one of the top performing stocks for 2026. And then IBM, this is personally one of my favorites. IBM, solid retracement from 350 now to lows of 280. I hope it sells off more because again, we're all here for the same reason. It's to make money. And although we might try to make money shorting intraday, I don't carry those positions overnight. It's never ideal. It comes at a greater form of risk. Most money can be made and much more easily just investing in good quality companies long term, right? Buying the dip, buying with a dollar amount that you can tolerate, not using leverage, and then investing in these companies long term because of what you see the future and the guidance for this company. And one of the last ones we kind of have to talk about it. It's Marvell Technology. This one hit highs of 339 and then sold off to lows of 250, but then is currently trading at highs of 270. So let's go ahead and start off with INTC. So if we look at INTC, especially just on the technicals very quickly, you can see that this thing went from lows of like $20 per share. This was late 2025 to highs of 132. In my opinion, INTC is the most overvalued and overhyped up piece of shit company that we're going to talk about today. And again, I'm very open with you guys. I don't mind talking trash on companies I simply don't believe in. INTC is definitely one of them. They have a negative P ratio. They lose billions of dollars every single year. Again, the only reason I see that Intel is even doing remotely well is because of the Trump administration. They took equity stake, 10%. They promoted the crap out of this company, and now they're trying to do anything to get Intel in with all of the actual top producing AI companies. If it ends up playing out, great. Is it just a show? and something else is going to be happening in the back end, we'll see. Again, personally, my least favorite. If you love it, that's why I'm talking about it. Feel free to add it to your watch list. I just don't like when a company fundamentally doesn't align with the technicals and price performance at all. There's a huge disconnect there. Again, all hype. And if you look at it, yeah, maybe fundamentally things are looking slightly better, but it still loses a ton of money. It is still so far ahead of itself with what it's currently valued at to what it's actually producing and even remotely close to. So one thing that I wanted to pop up, my internet's really slow over here, so hopefully it loads pretty quickly. But as we saw, negative P ratio, negative 157x multiple. It produces $53 billion. It's a very well-established company, but it's been established for quite some time and it just hasn't been doing well. It loses $3.3 billion a year. Again, I just don't find that to be attractive. I think that shitty companies trade at shitty price levels for a reason, and Intel is definitely one of them. From overall highs in 2021 to now lows, again, it just hasn't grown in revenue. So why would you expect the price performance to completely outperform its actual fundamental performance? I see there to be a disconnect. But again, it could be very early in its turnaround story. That's what a lot of people are betting on. And if that's what you want to bet on, again, you're an adult, you can do whatever it is that you want. The other one that I quickly want to talk about is Dell. Dell is also one that has been promoted by Trump. I don't like when he promotes stock because, first off, it's been said that he has personal stake in it, which I think is like super slimy, that the president of the United States is promoting a company that he has personal interest in. I see that to be a direct conflict of interest. Nonetheless, from lows of 116 to highs of 469, they absolutely killed it when it came down to the recent earnings, right? If you saw that, it was insane. And again, that's what I want to see is not only seeing a company perform well technically, and there definitely is hype with Dell because of the Trump administration, because of the promotion. So we need to understand that. That's kind of why I'm excited for this correction. I hope that this correction kind of like slaps it back to reality, but its reality isn't bad, right? If you look at it, it does trade at a decent P ratio, 30.5 times its earnings, not super high. And again, the more that it sells off, the cheaper it will get when it comes down to this P ratio. It's a company that produces $134 billion in revenue and $8.4 billion in net income. Again, I find that to be pretty attractive. Look at its recent growth. Past 2 quarters for revenue for Dell have been very, very impressive. It's not just the turnaround story that they're talking about, they're actually doing it. And again, when you look at the actual earnings from what was expected to what was actually reported, huge surprise. 68%, 25% surprise. Again, is there some hype factored in? Probably, right? The Trump administration promoted it, and there's so much hype behind that. With that being said, everything's kind of hyped up right now. So I'm trying to find a middle ground where, again, I want to invest in good quality companies. I don't have to go all in, and that's the thing that I'm always here to remind myself and hopefully remind you. But I still want to find good quality companies that have, huge upside. And this doesn't trade at a super high P ratio. It looks like it really is turning things around, not just talking about it. And it is hyped up. So again, if I can catch it when there's fear in the market and it becomes a little bit more oversold, I can see the value behind that. Dell is one of my top picks of what I'm watching to invest in personally for myself and for my family. Not something that you have to agree with. Again, I hope that there's more downside before there's upside, because again, the more it sells off, the better deal I can get, but it's the one that I'm watching very closely. So you guys let me know down in the comment section what you think. SanDisk, my goodness, man, this thing is absolutely insane. From where do we want to talk about it? Mid to late 2025, $40 per share to highs of 1,860. Is there hype with this? I think it's taken on a leg of its own. And if you look into SanDisk fundamentally, technically speaking, it's just an absolute insane chart, something that is very rare. It's one of the top performing stocks for 2026 and 2025 for a reason. It is expensive. And this is after its recent retracement. It trades at 51.2 times its earnings. Obviously, being expensive doesn't mean that it can't go higher. That's the one thing that I want to remind you, is that overbought doesn't mean that it can't push higher, especially when markets are irrational and when there's a lot of hype present. With that being said, how did they report when it came down to their earnings? they did kill it. Earnings per share, revenue, they exceeded expectation. And if you click at the pro research to actually see, well, what does the growth look like quarter after quarter? Again, they are turning things around. So first thing I want to talk about, is the stock hyped up? Yes. There is no stock that can't be hyped up that goes from 500 to 1800 in a very short period of time without being hyped up. Could it be overvalued in a short period of time? Sure. Is it actually doing better fundamentally? Yes. And again, its recent earnings show that. Is there better guidance and outlook for this company because of AI and its role in it? Yes. So again, can it continue to rally? Yes. I hope that this thing continues to crash as much as possible, as close to $1,000 as possible, so we can pick up some, like, this has been the it stock, the most hyped up, which again, during uncertain times, if things really begin to hit the fan, then I would be careful with this. It's always the most overvalued stocks that correct the hardest. But SanDisk has been just an absolute monster performer. They are doing better fundamentally, and they are positioned very well in the AI space for storage. So that is what I wanted to highlight, that I do see the value fundamentally and the growth potential for the outlook of SanDisk. But again, hopefully there's more fear in the market that it could sell off just a little bit more so we can get a better deal on it. But again, definitely a stock that I'm watching very closely. Micron has also been a top performer for 2026, from lows of $61 per share early to mid 2025 to highs of $1,000 per share. Again, Micron is one of those companies that also picked up a lot of hype, and again, price performance is insane. You cannot have this type of price performance with no hype present. This is one thing I wanted to show you. From $300 per share to $1,000 in just 2 months, a 200% return. Again, incredible ROI, but this is a great reminder that at elevated levels, it doesn't mean that you have to sell, but it just also is a reminder that you don't have to be incredibly leveraged at these overbought levels. Be invested, be bullish, but don't be naive with your position size. Just like Michael Saylor, when you buy too much at the top with a speculative and or up and coming potential asset, and then there's quick corrections, you can really put yourself in an unfortunate scenario. I don't even want to compare BTC to MU because Micron actually makes money, right? And that's the one thing that I wanted to highlight. Again, typing it into Investing Pro, you can quickly see that, yeah, it's hyped up. It is trading at a pretty premium, 40.4 times its earnings, $58 billion in revenue, $24 billion in net income. It makes money, and its growth has been quite attractive. If we look at the growth from 2024, not just right now has just been accelerated, and it's only getting more of in demand, if we want to say that. Its growth is incredible, its position is incredible, and its price performance is incredible. Does it trade at a super cheap price or premium? No. Could it be hyped up to some degree? Of course. But again, if you believe in this AI space, especially for semiconductors, then this is something that I would say that I would pay close attention to, right? It is trading at a premium, but it doesn't mean that it can't continue to grow into that valuation. Again, we're not talking about Intel, right? This is actually a business that makes money. So again, Micron is one of the top stocks in the semiconductor space that I'm paying close attention to. And the last one that I wanted to cover was IBM. I don't really want to cover Marvel. I don't care enough about it. Again, it just recently gapped up because Jensen, who is the CEO of NVIDIA, called it the next trillion-dollar company. And again, if you believe in that, all power to you. It trades at a very high P ratio. I want to talk about IBM. IBM is the new company that has been hyped up by the Trump administration from lows of 200 to highs of 350 within a very short period of time, right? 212 to highs of 350, 64% return in like 2 weeks, and now it's beginning to correct. I hope that it continues to correct as there is decent downside. It gapped up too quick in my opinion. But if we type in IBM, we'll see, right? Because we've seen it before like AMD. AMD was a fair performing company, but Wall Street didn't like it. And then all of a sudden in 2025, 2026, it took off. So market sentiment is very, very important. So IBM, if we actually look at it fundamentally, it's one of the cheapest stocks that we're talking about fundamentally. It produces $68 billion in revenue, $10 billion in net income. It makes money. But is it sexy enough to be picked up by the AI space and the AI hype? We'll see, right? It's been pretty flat when it comes down to revenue lately, but as you can see based off of recent quarters revenue-wise, it has been showing signs of growth. Is it the accelerated growth that like Micron or SanDisk have been experiencing? No, but again, we'll see if it grows into that. So IBM is a company that I'm watching, but I think the part that's most important right now is the names that Wall Street loves. And unfortunately, it's not so much about P ratios. It is just more about the story, right? And that is Micron, that is SanDisk, and I don't even want to say it, but it's Intel as well, right? The ones that I'm watching the closest is Dell, SanDisk, Micron, and then I am watching IBM, but I want to see how Wall Street treats it. I want to see if once it corrects, if it recovers just as quickly as the rest. That's what I want to pay attention to. So again, other than that, again, I think it's super important to understand your intention and the outlook of what's going on in the market right now. There's uncertainty and fear being injected into the market, and that is causing markets to drop, right? We saw one of the sharpest drops that we've seen in quite some time. With that being said, it's great for those that prepared for it and set money aside so you can buy and dip buy the opportunities that begin to present itself. Just remember, it's not about predicting the bottom. It's about staying prepared so once the market begins to indicate signs of a support and a potential recovery, you can begin to take action, right? We talk about the 3 stages of a reversal: oversold reversals and overbought reversals, and the LPP lesson library. If you guys haven't checked that out, again, second link in the description down below. This is why I think it's so important for beginners to just have a general understanding of how to trade and invest in the market. I'm all for speculative assets if you have the experience to manage them. Right now, as markets are selling off, I would keep it super simple. Pick 1 or 2 stocks max that you actually plan to invest in with a dollar amount that you can actually tolerate. It shouldn't be a crazy dollar amount that you have to think of. It's just like, even if you just can buy 1 share, who cares? Then just buy that 1 share. Don't overcomplicate it, and please do not use leverage. The last thing that you want is, as a beginner, you go in aggressive, you buy the dip with borrowed money, meaning that you use money or more money than you actually have. Direction turns against you, it drops another 20 to 30% because maybe, we are going to experience a larger downturn than what was expected. And then now you get margin called, you get forced to sell, and then now you lost everything and you never want to do this again. If you buy 1 share with money you actually have, it can drop 99% and you will never be forced to sell because it's your money. With that being said, buy intentionally and buy in a calculated way. We've done it and shared it with you guys before on our Learn Plan Profit homepage. All you have to do is scroll down and you can plan out your actual trade from your entry, your stop loss, your take profits, and the number of shares. So you have a full understanding of what your trade plan is, your risk to reward ratio, and how much you could possibly make and how much you could possibly lose. So before you even take the trade, you're aware of the best case and the worst case scenario. And I think that is so crucial for beginners that are just getting started. Remember, our goal with LPP is simple. It's to inform beginners not just of all the pros, but also of some of the cons, the risk when it comes down to trading and investing in this market. And if that's you and you want to have a little bit of a better understanding and you want access to our daily live sessions, then that's the second link in the description down below. Remember, it's a one-time payment for lifetime access. And do not forget, if you want to be able to do a better fundamental analysis on the companies that you are thinking about trading or investing, with the first link in the description down below, it literally breaks down to less than $10 a day. Ask yourself that. Is getting a better understanding of the companies that you're investing in worth $10 a month? I think I said $10 a day. I meant $10 a month. $9.50 a month is what it breaks down to for Investing Pro. So again, if you want to check it out, first link down below. If you want access to our live trading session and LPP lesson library, second link in the description down below. I appreciate you guys' time. I hope they're in thumbs up. please consider subscribing. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.